Hey everyone, this is Unlock24, and today we're going to be talking about the KC report that I guess we got this morning, but I really haven't had time to do it. But let's go ahead and do it now. This is the rewards I guess I got. I'm not really sure if I did. I didn't play much for the second round. I guess I'll get a prismatic. I only played like 3 or 4 games maybe, and I ended up getting a prismatic, which I guess it's nice. I'm not really sure what I'll get. I'll probably end up getting something that I can use to farm. Right off the bat, I don't really see much of anything. I already have one of that, so I don't really need another copy of that. Well, I'll just take a look and decide later maybe. I do need a third one of those, so I might go with that. So anyway, that's what I'm getting. Like I said, I didn't play much of the second thing. I think I only played just a couple of games, and overall I ended up neutral because I lost one or won one. The last one won one, so I don't know how I ended up getting those rewards. Anyway, where are the report? I think the report's outside. Let's see. Let me just take a quick look. Case report number 11. Alright, so here it is. And I actually just looked over it a little bit earlier. I didn't go into detail of everything, but overall, it was. I wasn't really expecting the top decks to be out here. I was expecting something different. And let's go ahead and take a look at them. So, sample of decks used by high-ranking players, supposedly, or top 20 frequently chosen skills. For the skills balance, I guess there was a ton of, I'm guessing, of hero decks being played, and I can understand why balance was number one. A trick up the sleeve. Again, I don't know why this skill is so high up here, and if you don't know what it does, is your starting hand will include a 1 level 7. Oh, actually, yeah, I do. I'm guessing. Well, I did look over the report earlier, so I'm guessing this is because of the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. So I guess it makes sense. Trick up the sleeve. Then Mind Scan, which of course I've always said that this ability is extremely good, so there's no surprise there. Sealed Tombs, again, vampires are a really big thing, so Sealed Tomb, I guess it's a good counter to that. And to the end of your opponent's next turn, either player can banish cards from the graveyard or special summon monsters from the graveyard. Skill can only be used once per duel, so I guess it's understandable, especially if you predict your opponent just doing some crazy vampire combo. You just do a trick up the sleeve or Sealed Tombs, and then they're not going to be able to do anything. Beat Down, of course, a generic skill, the type that binds, same as Beat Down. Bandit, I did play against 2 people that were running Bandit, and Bandit is actually extremely good, especially like towards the late game. If you can steal their only back row, that basically just wins you the game. Destiny Draw. Of course, after you take 2,000 damage, you're gonna get a card of your choice. So, Destiny Draw, I guess it's a good skill to run. My name is Jubel. There's a ton of people still playing Phoenix, Endless Trap Hell, Switcheroo. I think with the Rise of Bujins, Switcheroo should have been higher in the list. I think because you can Switcheroo any of the Ties of the Brethren or any dead card that you might have a copy of or a duplicate of. So. I think Switcher should have been a little bit higher. Restart, I don't know why people would run Restart. It does kind of give you a disadvantage. Parasite Infestation, Life Point Boost, Mythic Devs, and Destiny Calling, and Titan Showdown. So overall, the skill list is to be expected. I think the deck list. Well, this isn't it. Let's see. Where are the? Well, I think I went all the way back. So for the decks, I actually was kind of surprised that of the decks that were on here. I wasn't really expecting some of them here. So this one, of course, there's a ton of Blue Eyes players, so this is always gonna be in here. I think it's basically a complete counter to the Blue Eyes deck. So since there was a lot of Blue Eyes, it should have been on top. For this one, Bandit Keith with Bandit. Of course, the Vampires. Vampires are doing really well right now. And I was surprised that I didn't see the other Vampire or I think it's this one. Map power could attack one piece of monster point controls for attack higher than this card. Okay, yeah, it's this one. I've seen another different deck list that wasn't running this Vampire Vamp, and I think it's an extremely good card, especially with a ton of synchros out right now. Let's see. Mako Tsunami with the, I guess it's a Mermail deck, which has a, it's kind of a weird build. I'm guessing he was relying a lot on the Atlantean heavy infantry and the snowmans to get rid of the opponent's monster, and then if they synchro summon, then he had the dragon ice, which has a decent defense, but I don't know how good. I think I should build this. It looks interesting. I want to go ahead and see how well it works. So I think I'm gonna build this and maybe do a some gameplay tomorrow, because it does look interesting. It did catch my eye. So let's see the next one. Arcana Trick Up the Sleeves again. That's a Blue Eyes deck, and that Trick Up the Sleeve will guarantee you a high level monster. So I guess it's understandable. The tech here is Destructotron, which I didn't see many people taking advantage of or using. Destructotron, if you don't know what it does, it could completely end the back row, and this card has a ton of destruction, which I think this is another interesting deck with an interesting tech. Destructotron, if you don't know what it does, is during the end phase, if this card is the only type monster you control, destroy it. You can pay 1,000 life points and target one cell spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Again, that doesn't have any limits, so you can use it for, well, depending on how many life points you have, you can use it up to three times if you have 4,000. And if you basically have a Destructotron and one of these guys, Cosmo Brains, it's basically an OTK if your opponent just has back row. So I could see why this deck did really, really well. Again, I do like the tech of the Destructotrons. And let's see what else. He was also running the Champion's Vigilance and a Magic Deflector. A Magic Deflector, if you don't know what it does, for the rest of this turn, negate all equips field or continues and quick plays spell cards effects on the field. So again, this particular version is also really, really teched out. It has a ton of I guess utility, and I can see why it did well. For Yami Merrick balance, I actually tried to build this earlier, but I was missing most of the Gemini Sparks and most of the monsters. This is another extremely interesting deck. I can see how it would work, but also I don't know. Let's see what skill it had. It had balance, so you were always gonna get a monster. The monsters are Dark Valkyria and Chad Warrior. I'm guessing this played a huge role in the deck. I don't know why it's not running 3. Maybe it needed more space for I guess the Pulsar Canadias and the Supervise, because I think this card, it's completely underrated right now. Since we have Synchros out this guy with a Supervise, it will just completely demolish a full Synchro deck. Unless it's something that, or if they get a Stardust, but everything else should just get completely destroyed by this single card. And the fact that it has a ton of defense with 3 Canadias and a Mirror Wall. And then if he, for whatever reason, doesn't get a monster, he always has those Drowning Mirror Forces, which I think they're extremely good. And I can see a ton of combos with this. I can see combos with this, and then Gemini Spark and maybe Supervise. And then just, you can do a ton of crazy things with this deck, I think. And I think this is one of the decks that not many people expected, especially since it is a Gemini deck. Alright, for Duelist F, Luna with Holy Guard. Again, this is I'm not gonna say it's a completely standard Amazon's build, because it is running 3 DD Assailants and the rest. Basically, it's somewhat of an Amazon's, but it's kind of like a, I'm not gonna say it's like a somewhat of a goat deck. It's really not, but it does have a lot of utility, and it has a lot of defensive cards, so I can see why this deck worked. Not sure about the single Galaxy Cyclone. Maybe play maybe 2 more, or maybe 2 more spell trap destructions. But overall, I think the deck is it's decent. Not really sure how well. I could see if you go against Blue Eyes, the Amazon Swordswoman would just punish them. If you go against anything else, you can basically stall. And I mean, I can see this deck working. For this next one, Balance. Oh, this was another really interesting deck. I have seen this deck before, or a version of this deck, and overall, this was whenever I saw this deck, it was way back, and it was running different equip cards, but this guy knows what's up with this card. Solemn Scolding. This card can single-handedly just win you the game. This is one of the reasons why I picked up three, and one of them was Prismatics. I don't know about the two Treacherous Trap Holes, since you're running, well, most of the Scolding you're only gonna use it once, and then maybe it does work. I don't know, since you're not gonna have that many traps in your graveyard, and after you've used the Solemn Scolding, most of the time you're just gonna win. So this is just a straight up beatdown deck that has monsters that aren't affected by trap cards. So overall, I guess it's a I guess it caught a ton of people by surprise. I'm not sure if they were able to get over Blue Eyes quite easily. I don't know if they Treacherous Trap Hole it, or if they Divine Wrath the Cosmos, or what they did about Blue Eyes, but I guess it worked for this particular guy, so whatever works, I guess works. The next one, Sealed Tombs, a hero build. Again, this was running Offerings to the Doom, target one face-up monster on the field. Destroy that target, also skip your next draw phase. I saw a lot of people playing this card. I think it is a decent tech. It's a quick play. You do have to skip your next draw phase, which it's a huge downside. This thing was just making a ton of Blue Eyes deck out. And then everything else was just the generic hero things, I guess. Masked hero build. The Sing Hu again. Not really seeing a lot of people use this, which I think it's a good card. It does kind of clog up your back row, but it's a really good card. Actually, I tried a couple builds with it. And I think when they release another Destiny Draw, you're just gonna see this this deck even more. Hopefully, I don't want to say that it's like extremely overpowered, because I don't think it should get restricted. I don't think Mask should get restricted, or or maybe Mask Hero Anki just restricted to 2 or 1, but I don't think Mask should go, because then it'll just completely destroy the deck. Again, this is almost, if you have one of these out on the field and you're playing against Blue Eyes, and if you have one more card in your deck than the other one, then you're just gonna be just sitting there with a free win, or most of the time anyways, unless they have like an enemy controller or something. But for whatever reason, I don't see that many people running enemy controllers anymore, which I think they should. Okay, this is another weird tech. I don't know how this deck really would work. I guess it did work, since it was a high player deck. It is really interesting playing 3 Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. I guess it worked with the I'm not sure if it even works with Bujin Crane. Does it during the damage calculation if either player's turn, if a Beast Warrior type Bujin monster you control? Right, so it doesn't work with that, but I guess it did work with the Crystal Raigeki and the rare value. I guess a really weird Bujin version, I guess, and it's not even running Ties of the Brethren. I think we should also build this and maybe try it out and see how well it works, and see why it did so well in this particular KC Cup. Overall, it's a standard Bujin without Ties of the Brethren and some Crystal Beast tech, so we're definitely going to have to try this deck out, I think. Alright, Maximum Pegasus with the spell books. Again, this deck, if you don't know what you're doing against this deck, it's just going to completely destroy you. This guy, or girl, or whatever it is, Silent Magician, it's actually really good. It can also just, I mean, the effect overall, it's way better than any card in Duel Links, I think. And I think this deck should have done a little bit better, but again, I also thought that Dragoonities was going to be in this list, and I don't think I saw any Dragoonies in this list, which I guess it's understandable. The deck is quite expensive, and it is out of a full box, so I don't see many people buying straight out full boxes just to get the Dragoonity deck. But I think in the future, I think we will be seeing more Dragoonities, and I think Dragoonities do deserve a place in the very top. They do have a ton of potential. They have a ton of destruction and attack. So Dragoonies should have definitely been here in this list, I think. And then if you're playing against, I guess, a lot of spells, this thing is just a monster. It's 3,500 attack. Not many monsters are going to be able to do much of anything. So there it is. Those are the top decks. Let's see in the first stage what it was like. Well, they only have the skills. They don't have the top deck. So for the skills, balance, beatdown. Okay, so this kind of switched places, I think. Well, no, actually, beatdown and the tie-up binds were way lower. I trick up the sleeve, so it's way, I think, was second maybe or third. Let's see, Destiny, draw, life point boost. My name is Yubel, mind scan, restart. So much of the same. The only thing is that this beatdown is a little bit higher during the stage 1. So I actually do enjoy this KC report, and I guess I wasn't really expecting the decks that were on there. I was expecting way more hero decks up there and way more Dragoonides. I will be trying some of those deck lists out and see how well they work and why they worked. Especially that Bujins with the Crystal Beast and that Murmil, that definitely caught my eye. I had seen that Tenkai Beetle build, so it does well in some. Well, sometimes it does well. So I'm gonna. That don't really need to think I need to try it. But if you want to see some gameplay of that particular deck, do let me know, and I'll see what I can do. But I think for today, that's gonna be it. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. Again, I will be gifting a PS4 on January the 1st to one of my subscribers. So do subscribe, and if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time.